Hello, this is an overview of the SkullCandy Roc Nation Aviator headphones. This video is just going to showcase the headphones, its features, quality, sound quality, etc. We'll start with the earphone pieces. The lining is made of soft touch leather, very soft up against your skin. It doesn't feel like it's going to stick to you or chafe you in any way. At least it doesn't feel like that for me. The inside is made of memory foam, so it's very cushiony, very soft, and they're very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. These are very lightweight. There is a stainless steel band that goes around here. It's not chrome-plated plastic or anything like that. It is actually stainless steel. If you get a magnet, it'll stick to it. This is a leather band, not hard plastic. Again, like some other high-end headphones, even the Bose and Beats by Dre, whatever, they're made of hard plastic on the band, so it's not going to be as durable, or, in my opinion, not as comfortable. This is a leather band here with a cushion where your skull is going to be, and it's flexible, so it's not going to be putting a dent in your head. The earphones themselves are adjustable. There's a steel frame that goes right down in the inside of that, inside of the housing, and it adjusts depending on the size of your head. The housings are made out of a polycarbonate material. They use the same material that they use in Aviator sunglasses, and they kind of have the same or a similar design aesthetic as an Aviator sunglasses, so I guess that's why they call them Aviators. They're probably not used to fly helicopters or anything, so I'm sure that's where they get the name. They do fold in. They don't fold flat, and they do fold in like that. So if you need to put them in your leather case here, they'll fit right in there. If you want to stick them in your laptop bag or something. They don't oscillate, they don't rotate, so you can't get these phones to, rotate to the other side if you want to kind of just press it up against your ear if you're doing any kind of studio work or something like that. Speaking of studio, I know they're kind of trying to compete with the Monster. They have very similar audio quality to the Monster. It's about half the price as the Monster Beats by Dre. It does have better build quality in my opinion. However, if you're going to be using this in the studio, you might need an extension because this braided nylon cord is on the short side at 3 feet, which I guess is a standard size for any MP3 player or earbuds or whatever. But like a Sony professional studio headphones will have like a 9-foot cable or something like that. So if you're going to be on a chair that's on wheels and you're going to be kind of scooting around the studio to, from one mixer to the other or whatever, this is not going to give you a lot of room to maneuver. So just keep that in mind. I bought this. I'm not a mixer or musician or anything like that. I just bought this to listen to music. So it works fine for me. But if you're expecting some kind of large breadth in movement, that's not going to happen. You get a gold-plated 3.5mm jack right here. If you have any larger output or larger inputs, you're going to need an adapter because they don't include one with this headphone set. Some other headphones like Bose will include the larger adapter if you have any other equipment you need to plug into. There is a toggle, volume toggle, and a mic. There's a volume up, volume down. There's a skull that acts as a center button. Click it in once, you're going to affect playback. It's play if you click once, pause if you click again. Clicking twice skips forward, clicking 3 times skips backward. This only seems to work on Apple products. I tested it on my Motorola Droid. All the buttons paused the music. So volume up and down actually paused the music on my Droid. None of the buttons did anything on my Zune, and none of the buttons did anything on my Windows machine right here. I tried it on an iPod, two iPods, and it worked fine. I tried it on, well, my cousin tried it on his MacBook Pro, and it worked fine. So just keep that in mind too. If you're not a big Apple user, which a lot of people seem to be Apple users, so I don't think this is going to be too much of an issue. It's not an issue for me because I wouldn't use this toggle thing anyway. This is kind of cheap and plasticky compared to the build quality of the rest of the piece, the rest of the set. So I wouldn't use it. It's also very close to the headphones too. So, and it's not it's not adjustable on the line on the cord. So I wouldn't be using this anyway. It does have an inline mic. You're supposed to be able to answer calls. I tried taking a call with these headphones on my Motorola Droid, and all the buttons muted the call. So the guy on the other line could not hear a word I was saying, because when I clicked to answer the phone, it did answer it. However, well, sometimes it answered it. However, it muted at the same time. So take that however you will. I don't really know if I would be using this to make a phone call anyway. Maybe a Skype call, but I haven't tried that yet. Okay, sound quality. I did test it against a Sony. Let me see, I have a notes here. I know they have all these catchy names. The Sony MDR 7506 studio professional studio headphones. These sound better than those. Those are about 85 bucks. These are 150. I tested it against the Bose Triport headphones, which are about $125. It sounded similar. The Bose, in my opinion, the Triport don't cancel noise as well as this one does. I don't think this is built to cancel noise, but it does do a good job of canceling noise. It does not leak out, at least at safe. I mean, if you turn it up loud enough, someone might be able to hear what you're listening to, but you might be causing some kind of permanent damage if you turn it that loud. Keeping the volume at acceptable, safe levels, I didn't notice any kind of audio leaking out to where other people can listen to what I'm listening to. So keep that in mind too. If you're on a subway or if you're on a bus or something, you won't be able to know what the hell's going on around you if you have these on, because you're not going to be able to hear very well. So if you're walking down the street and you need to listen out for cars, you probably don't want to listen to music on these too. I do have some old Sony noise cancelling headphones, and it seems to work just as well as those. The sound is comparable to the Beats by Dre. The Beats sound just a tad, just a little bit better, just because they have a deeper bass, or a little heavier bass, if you will. The bass on this is still excellent. It's just you're just gonna notice the slight difference. You won't notice really any difference if your music is not encoded and lossless. Most people, they listen to music digitally. Unless you're plugged into like a CD player and you're listening directly from a CD or a vinyl record player or something like that, your music is going to be digital. So most people, since the default in the Zune player and in in iTunes, when you rip a CD, its default I think is 128 kilobits per second. That's going to sound like crap on these. So that's something you might want to keep in mind too. You don't really have to keep that in mind, but if you might want to update your library after getting these, because if you listen to a track in 320 kilobits per second and then you go back and listen to something that's in 128, it's going to sound crappy. So most of my music is in the FLAC codec, which is the free lossless audio codec. The files are huge and most players don't support them, but I usually stick this into my laptop and listen directly from there. I don't really listen to this a lot with my Zune player. It depends on what your music bit rate is. Most of them, most online stores now, I know iTunes and Zune or whatever, they started at 128 kilobits per second. Then they moved up to 192 and then 256, and I'm even seeing some now that are in 320. Some artists like Weird Al, oddly enough, will release them in lossless, like FLAC or something. Apple has Apple lossless. Zune has Windows Media lossless, and each of their respective players supports that format only. So unless you're listening to your music with a lossless bit rate, you're not really going to notice a difference between the Beats by Dre and this one. So keep that in mind too. This is half the price, and the difference is negligible. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this doesn't come with a lot of accessories. It does come with a microfiber cloth, which you're going to want to make use of because this polycarbonate material is a fingerprint magnet and a smudge magnet. So if you don't clean them regularly, they're going to look pretty nasty. So keep that in mind when you buy these two. You're going to have to maintain them. No matter how stylish they are, fingerprints are not attractive. So this also comes with a leather case with some mesh and netting inside. So if you need to store something like a small MP3 player or microfiber cloth, you can do that. That's pretty much it for the headphones. My goal is to just help anyone watching make an informed decision. Obviously, I'm not the greatest speaker or reviewer out there, but I didn't see any reviews for this particular headphone on YouTube. So hopefully whoever's watching does make an informed decision. $150 is a lot to spend on anything in these times, and hopefully you make the right choice and buy whatever's going to work for you. So that's pretty much it. I hope you get some kind of information or value out of this video, and thanks for watching.